Plaintiff Margot Swift says the defendant is dating her son, and she calls the two of them dumb and dumber. Margot claims she allowed the defendant and her son to live with her, but when the defendant got pregnant, she tried to hide it from Margot. Margot's suing her son's girlfriend for the balance due on a loan. Defendant Brianna Bird says after she had her baby, she and Margot got in an argument about the baby's name. And then Margot tried to say that her son was not the baby's father. Brianna insists she was paying on the car in question and doesn't owe Margot for anything.
Start with you.
Okay, I met Brianna in about maybe 2011, 2012. She's dating my son. I refer to them as dumb and dumber.
Oh.
When he's by himself.
That could be.
No, when he's by himself, he's like a boomerang. But what it is sometimes they make irrational decisions. That's what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, staying with me, Brianna had a baby and...
When?
What? That was, Azaria was born in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And we had it out over me not knowing what the baby's middle name was.
You mean, who had a problem with that?
I did.
What problem did she have with you knowing?
I'm not sure. She didn't tell.
You didn't ask? You
We
didn't say, why can't I get the baby's middle name, Brianna?
Well, what happened is I actually...
Or even your son. Did he know?
He didn't know either because I did the birth announcement.
Sir. Come on, stand up. State your name.
Montrell Swift.
At some point after your child was born, you didn't know your child's middle name?
I mean, I did, but I don't know, they did it, like...
What?
It was more like, they was agreeing on it or whatever. I knew
Agreeing
what it
on
was.
what?
The name?
Did you know?
Yes.
At what point did you know?
I knew when she told me when my daughter was born.
All right. Did your mother ever ask you?
Not that I remember.
All right. I would believe him. I'm inclined to believe him. I don't believe he would go without knowing that. And he said, you never asked him.
Okay. Well,
And I think he would tell his mother what the middle name of her grandchild is. I can't speak for her and what I believe about a daughter-in-law or whatever, however you refer to her, but I believe your son. So you should have asked him.
well, I did ask him.
I don't believe
And he did
that.
not know. I did the birth
You ain't
announcement.
that him, Peck.
I did the birth announcement, which was a photo of the baby, and it had the baby's name. When I had to go get some paperwork to do childcare for the baby, I looked at the hospital record thing, and it was more added to it than was on the birth announcement. So my thing was, you could have told me when I did the birth announcement that this was not her name, that it was more to her name.
Ma'am, were they living with you?
Yes.
Okay. When the baby was born, or the day the baby came home, or the day after that, or the day after that, or the day after that, the day after that, the day after that, the day after that. Did you ask, what's the baby's middle name?
Yes, again, I did.
Second day.
No, I didn't ask every day.
How many days? How often?
I was there when the baby was actually born.
Got that part.
We had agreed on the baby's name,
Middle name.
the full name. We agreed on it.
And she changed it?
She added to it, correct.
You had to agree on the baby's name?
Yes, we did.
That's the problem. Yeah, they wasn't listening to you, ma'am. That's what happened. You tried to interfere with the naming of their child, and they wasn't listening to you. That's what happened there. All right, so you all didn't get along from what years?
Probably like not too long. Before she had the baby, we would have ins and outs. Our relationship is not perfect. Some days we get along, some days we do not.
What would you all fall out about typically?
It'd be simple things like we don't get along about what's going on in the house. If I feel like, okay, well, you're not washing these dishes, and she feels like, well, I don't have to wash the dishes because I didn't dirty the dishes. So it was small things like that would add up and be like, you know what, maybe we should not live together. And so then they would move out, and then they came back and they brought a dog with them. And so I had the dog, and then they moved out again. When they moved out again, I ended up getting rid of the dog. When they came back, I get a text message later telling me that she was expecting a baby. I had no clue. I was like, somebody's telling me you're pregnant. She was like, no, I'm not. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna hold this text message, and I'm gonna count back in a few weeks, and we're gonna figure this out, because she's not always, I wouldn't say necessarily honest, but we don't always get all of the information.
Okay.
And a part of that is I don't ask a
She
lot.
was having a child living with you and couldn't afford it, and you were going to have to share that ticket. That's pretty much what your concern was. Why were you concerned that she was having a child?
Because they're living under my roof.
That's what I just asked you. All right, let me hear from you, ma'am. Give me some background.
Margot is my boyfriend's mother. We lived with her mostly 2015, and we got into a big argument
Over what?
about the baby's name. She accused me of lying about the baby's name, and then she accused me of the paternity of the child. So over that,
The child wasn't
his, because I lied
Okay.
about the name. So after that, we got into it, and then we moved out because we got tired of the drama.
Okay, and when was that?
August 2016.
All right. Sir, do you want to say anything? All right. And tell me about the loan, ma'am.
Okay, it was like right after tax time in 2016. I'm at home, and my son calls me at a car lot. I had sold him my other car, and he decided he didn't want it, so he was getting another car. He calls me at the car lot and tells me that he needs me for a cosigner. And I'm telling him, no, I don't really want to co-sign this car. I don't even want to be bothered with the deal. The gentleman at the car place gets on the phone and tells me that they only need me for 90 days. And after 90 days, my name can be off of this car. So I go ahead and I go down to the car place and I sign the papers, and I'm on the co-signer for the car. I didn't test drive the car, I didn't do anything. I just signed the papers. Oh, I had told Bree when I did it, I said, if I pay anything into this car, I'm going to take this car because I don't want to be on this. I don't want my credit messed up.
You obviously told your son that too.
Right, they were both there at the time. I was speaking to both of them. That's why they're both here. And so I went ahead.
But only one is being sued.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Because she's actually she's had the license and everything. So
But
she's
he's the one that asked.
Correct.
He's the one that requested it.
Correct.
So he's part of it.
Yes.
I was just curious why he's sitting there and you bashing her and you haven't said one negative thing about your son. And now we see he's the one that asked for the money. And the man told you, I wrote it down, he called and said they only need it. They. Everything was they. He initiated and then it became they. But today it's only her because of this grudge. He's smiling and I ain't got nothing to do. No, go ahead. So she failed to make the payment, obviously.
Well, no, what happened is she started making late payments and so forth. And like a couple months into it, there was an accident. Someone ran into them in the car on the side of the car. Brianna had insurance on the vehicle. We later found out that while she was paying for the insurance company wasn't fair to her because the insurance somehow was in my name. And so, like, once she got into the accident, they were trying to talk to me, and I'm like, why are you trying to talk to me about this accident? We get it settled down to where they find out that I never signed insurance papers. I'm supposed to be off this loan. They said that they need to be able to refinance the car. Part of them needing to be able to refinance the car is someone's supposed to have a job. Someone doesn't have a job yet, so they have not been able to refinance the car and get the car out of my name. As of right now, the car is starting to go into collections because the bills are getting later and later. We're back to almost the original amount on the car, and I just can't do this because I help them with a lot of stuff as it is. Yes, we have a relationship that's
I got it.
dysfunctional.
Let me hear from you on the loan. Have you paid the loan? If not, why?
I paid the car note. I paid it on time before the due date until about May. I got pregnant. I started missing days from work, so it started affecting my check.
He didn't work?
No.
Why not?
He was having trouble finding a job. So while I was working, being pregnant, I was missing days from work. So it was affecting my check. I only had money for...
When's the last time your man worked? Yeah. Take all the time you need.
It's been a while. It's been a
Like
while.
what? Year? 2 years? 3 years?
It's been probably 5 months, maybe.
Okay. In 5 months, when was the loan taken?
In March 2015.
Okay,
16.
and things became tough on you
Yes.
when?
In May.
Go ahead.
So
And he got you up there getting sued by yourself. You want to say anything? Nope, I ain't got nothing to do with it. This is her problem. I know I called for the loan. I know we are joint. I know we have a child together. I know we are, for the most part, we're in a common law marriage, but nope. I ain't saying nothing. And you standing up here Like you're a single woman. Go ahead.
In May, I started making late payments. It was either, they gave me a 10-day grace period. I either made it before the grace period or I started making it after the grace period, and that's when it became a problem. But I'm telling her, like, I'm pregnant, your son is not working, and I'm having a hard problem paying everything, paying the rent, the bills, and the car note. So that's when it started coming late payments because I couldn't afford it. I'm doing everything on my own.
Okay. And do you have a defense against her, against paying her all the money as a result of you breaching the contract?
Yeah, I don't want to pay her the money. I make my payments
I know
on time.
you don't. Pardon me?
I made the payments on time.
No, you just said late. What are you talking about? Judgment for the plaintiff. My goodness. Have a good day. You just told me late.
Well, I'm glad we got this resolved, so then that way I can continue to try to be there for you and the kids, and hopefully you guys get it together.
Now, hopefully we can be a happy family.
Plaintiff Darcel Summers says she and the defendant have the same father, but they only met 10 years ago. Darcel claims when they first met in person, she and the defendant's mother got in an argument, and the defendant's mother had her thrown in jail. Darcel is suing for unreturned property and emotional distress. Defendant Melissa Summers says she was excited to meet Darcel, but once they met, Darcel appeared to be different in person than she was online. Melissa claims the reason Darcel was arrested was because she threatened Melissa's grandmother with an iron, and Melissa's countersuing for emotional distress.
Start with you.
Okay, my name is Darcel Summers. Melissa Summers is my sister from my father. We share the same father. I met her on Facebook about 10 years ago, 2004. How'd
that come about?
My dad never pushed the issue of his kids being together. I guess because of the confrontation between the two mothers.
So how'd you find out?
Through Facebook. I always knew that I had other relatives, but I just couldn't find them.
Okay.
When I found Melissa on Facebook, we began talking, and I immediately took a plane to North Carolina to start a relationship with my sister. After that, I quickly realized that it was the worst mistake I could have made. Quickly. I noticed that my sister...
Just visiting?
Just visiting, sir. I noticed within a week that my sister could be a little confrontation. Her mother, could be a little bit confrontation. Her mother had issues with my mother, something that had nothing to do with me, but she took it out on me, basically. With that being said, Melissa go always out with her mother and things like that. Me and Melissa got into...
You're referring to when you went to visit?
Yes, sir.
How long did you go to visit?
For 2 weeks.
And all this happened?
Yes, sir. She was dropping
Taking sides over what? Who was arguing?
Me and the mother started... she started
about what?
with
Give me a subject matter.
Okay,
give me a couple of instances.
For instance, the mother always made it seem like because I'm from Brooklyn, New York, I had a nasty attitude. So she always put the magnifying glass on me, and she...
Very critical of you, you're saying.
Yes, very critical. And they made it very noticeable. And it was like kind of like bullying, you know? Okay. So me and the mother had words. I got mad, and me and the mother had strongly words. We both called each other names, basically. With that being said, Melissa's grandmother told me to come to her house until, I was ready to leave. Within the day after that, the mother snuck over there, harassing me, and ultimately put me in jail for disturbing the peace when she was disturbing my peace. After that,
she hadn't even put down the suitcase.
Yeah.
Haven't. They was already giving me applications.
They were plotting on you. Go ahead.
Yes, and everything. After
anything come up missing while you were there?
No, never. Nothing never came up
but
missing.
They spared you that. Huh? Let me allow her to give some background, ma'am. Go ahead.
My sister Darcel, like she stated, we met over 10 years ago. I was very excited because I had just graduated high school, and just to know that I was going to meet the person that they always told me about as being my big sister, I was excited.
You knew she existed?
Yes. I never had a chance to meet her. We moved from Brooklyn, New York, where all of us once resided at, not ever seeing each other even in New York. We moved to North Carolina. And as I got older, I grew a compassion of wanting to get to know who this other person was. If it was a part of my family, I wanted to be connected. As she stated, we met through social media. As I talked to her, she seemed to be a okay person. Once she got to North Carolina, immediately, you know, I seen a difference in her. The things that we talked about online, it wasn't the character that came with her to North Carolina. It seemed like Darcel, once she went to my grandmother's house, as she stated, from my mother's house, I never knew what happened with her and my mother. It's like, you know, I didn't see a situation had occurred, but my grandmother opened her doors and allowed her to come in there. While there, Darcel ended up getting locked up. Darcel got upset because my grandmother asked her to leave. Darcel was ironing her stuff. She had ironing, taking it left to right, swinging it. My grandmother, who was an older lady, just felt threatened for her life. So she called the police. The police came. They said that my sister was very disruptive. I have the police report here.
All right, and we haven't even gotten to the property you're suing for. And
may I add?
Yes.
Mathis? When her grandmother supposedly had got threatened with the iron, the whole time when I got arrested, the grandmother wasn't even there. She was at the hospital.
Ma'am, let's get to the property.
In 2017, June, I went to North Carolina. I was at a
You
friend's
back.
house. Excuse me. Yes, I'm back.
Round two.
Yes.
Round
After-
two, right?
Exactly,
All right.
round two.
right.
I went back to North Carolina. I was with a friend. After that, within 2 days, I contacted my sister. I told her, hey, I'm in North Carolina. And she said, for real, send me the address. I sent her the address. She immediately came over with her friend. When she came over, I told her that I wanted to move down to North Carolina.
So
right?
did you move your things down to North
Yes,
Carolina? Did you ask her either moving in with her
Yes.
or you asked
Yes.
to live with her?
No, I asked her, can I stay with her for a while? And
Yeah, that's
until I
asking to live
Yes,
there.
sir. Yes, sir.
After
Yes,
they
sir.
had tortured you the first time,
In 2000.
you said, let me go back and live with them again.
Yes, I needed my bottom line.
And the
I needed my
result is
sister.
you end up in court.
Yes, sir.
Meaning
Yes,
this
sir.
torture is the same.
sir.
You were
I
in
agree.
court.
I was naive.
Man, why are you talking when I talk?
Oh, excuse me.
Don't talk when I talk. Maybe that's why we've done all this and haven't gotten to the point. You just go and don't stop. You can't stop yourself. So much so the police arrested you, associating with the issues at that home. But you come right back. And this time, once again, you end up in court. First jail, now court. But I'm glad you brought it here instead of going to jail this time. And has she said you couldn't come and get your property?
Yes, sir.
She has?
Yes.
No, sir.
All right. When did she tell you that?
Well, actually, she didn't say those words.
Well, why
she
did
just
you
didn't-
say she did?
She just didn't. Excuse me, sir. I was confused. I'm sorry about that. And
All right.
I'm sorry. But she didn't tell me nothing. I've been asking for my things and she wouldn't.
She's
talk to me
never
at all.
told you couldn't get it?
Yes, she never told me nothing.
Okay, and that's not confused. That's a lie. For you to say, yes, she did tell me, and now you change it 100% opposite. No, you're brighter than that. As long as you've been talking, I can hear that in your voice. You tell me what happened, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Darcel contacted me on June the 19th, and she was at her friend's house. I was at work. I told her, since she was in North Carolina, she started off the conversation asking me, why did I hate her? I let her know that she said a lot of
Now, I'm not
things.
going back into all this petty arguing. Now, tell me what happened to the property, because if
Okay.
you hated her she led off arguing with you. Oh, well, come move right in. I see you still filled with the same mess, but come on, move in anyway.
Well,
So you moved her in. What was the agreement?
I had told Darcel that she could come, that I would come and get her because she had an interview, and that it would be closer to get to my house from the interview than where her friend lived at. So I told her, sure, I would come up there and get her. When Darcel came to my house, she never said anything about, wanting to stay for a long period of time. She just said she just wanted to leave her things there because at the time.
Okay, and that means reasonable amount of time. So what happened with her things ultimately?
Her things are still there. I have
What
evidence.
happened? Did she try and get them from you?
No, sir. She sent me a text. She sent me 2 text messages threatening to take me to court for her items that she never once sent a penny for. I have proof and text messages that Darcel has stated to me she was going to take me to court.
Right. That's what you do
I'm
when
asking
people
her, well, why didn't you send me money? I feel like I only had to
Send you
hold
money
the
for
stuff
what?
To send her stuff to her. If she want her belongings, my
She
job
was asking you to send them?
yes, with my
She didn't say,
personal
I want to
money.
come and get them?
No, she never said she was
No,
gonna
ma'am,
come
did
get
you
him.
ever tell her you wanted to come and get her?
Sir, we made arrangements for me to send her. I asked her
So
for
that
her
answer
address.
is yes. You did ask if you could come and get your things.
Yes, sir.
In fact, it made arrangements,
Yes,
you're
sir.
telling me. Do you have anything to indicate that?
Yes.
Any communication where you said, I want to come and get my things. And then it shows that you all were scheduled to get your things. I need those two communications because you just said you had them. Also, I wanted to know if you had any money saved up by now to have your belongings shipped to you. This is...
That was from me, Your Honor.
Right.
I asked her that in a message.
And what about a bus ticket? How much? Ma'am, you read to me where you asked her to, could you get your things? You handed me this saying that that's what it said.
Sir,
No.
sir.
Read to me what you told me was on here, because so far I've found you to be unreliable regarding your testimony. So read what you told me was here. You handed me this saying it's right here where I asked to come and get my things. And there's not one sentence, unless I can't read today, there's not one sentence about that. Take it back and read it. Maybe I missed that sentence. That's what you told me was on there. Is it on there?
It's not on this picture.
Oh, okay. How much time you need to find it? I give you 30 seconds to find
have
the
a-
one it's at,
it was on my
because you
phone.
shouldn't have handed it to me saying that was yours. You say the things are still there and she can come and
Yes,
get it many
sir.
times
I
she
have
wants?
them right here.
What do you have there?
Pictures of all the belongings.
Well, you agreed
where
that you
they're
take it.
stored at.
Do you agree to let her come and get them?
Yes, sir. She can have her items
All
at any
right.
time.
Go and get your things. Your
That's what I
claim
asked
for
for.
money is dismissed. Grant her her things within 30 days. Otherwise, she'll bring you back. Good luck to you. Your claim for emotional distress, for all this mess you all are arguing and all that, that's dismissed. Good luck to you. Have a good day.
I just hope that in the future a relationship could be established. I have a niece and nephew by Miss Darcel, and I would hope that we could act cordially so that I could communicate with them. And I wish her the best in life.
Plaintiff Sherelle Redmond says the defendant is her nephew and his mother is her sister. Sherelle claims when the defendant was 11 years old, his mother lost custody of him due to her drug addiction. Sherelle claims the defendant's mother recently died as a result of her crack use. And Sherelle's suing her nephew today for an unpaid loan. Defendant Chris Spear says he always looked up to Sherelle, but he felt abandoned by her when he was a kid because she had a good life in Colorado while he was left to grow up in a drug and gang-infested neighborhood. Chris claims Sherelle recently cut him off, so he had no way of repaying her.
Start with you.
Chris is my nephew. His mother is my sister. And when I was 10 and she was 3, our mother died. And we were separated because we had separate fathers. So I went to live in Ohio and they stayed in Colorado where we were raised. And fortunately, they didn't get the best upbringing without structure. And my sister had Chris, I think when she was 16. And unfortunately, in all those due times, she became addicted to crack, and she was a very abusive mother, and Chris was adopted out.
What age?
I think he was about 11.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay.
He may have been older.
How long was she addicted to crack?
I was active duty military. I got stationed at Lowry in '93. So
You was on crack too?
no.
Oh.
I was in the military, and I was stationed at
I
Lowry.
was
where
asking
she-
how long was she on crack, and you went to
Well,
talking about yourself.
Oh yeah, because I think that's when I saw her the first time, when I think she was already addicted.
Got
So
it. Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
I'm sorry.
So how long you think she was on crack?
20 years.
Wow. Yeah. What are the lasting consequences that you know of?
She's dead.
Oh.
She died about a month and a half ago.
Oh, God bless you all. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Sir, you want to give me some background?
Yes, Your Honor. I was adopted when I was in 6th grade by my 6th grade teacher. I was 11 years old because my mother was addicted to crack cocaine. And my Aunt Sherelle was a person who, came and took care of me as a child when she had time during her time off to the military. She took me out of these vulnerable situations that I was in and, kind of took my mind off of, the drugs, violence, gangs, and everything that was happening in the neighborhoods we were growing up. But I felt that as if she also abandoned me by the way that, she was able to leave our lifestyle and go back to her lifestyle.
How old were you?
I was 12 years old.
What do you mean by go back to her lifestyle?
Well, she had mentioned that, we came from two different parts of our family. There's family in Colorado and family in Ohio. Mm-hmm. But, now she stays in Atlanta. I feel like, it was easy for her to have an escape to go back to what she was used to, a better lifestyle, while we were stuck in the hood. And
you felt she had an obligation to you?
Yeah, well, I did. As a child, I did, because this is a person who I felt.
Was you a grandparent?
My grandfather raised me. He's deceased now, but he was the one who raised me and my brothers as we were kids.
Okay, that's usually the next level of responsibility.
Right.
Is a grandparent.
Yes, sir.
So she was probably going according to societal customs and practices regarding responsibility. She didn't abandon you. Your mother abandoned you.
Correct.
You said she helped raise you.
I felt as if she did abandon, just the way that she was there, but then she wasn't there.
And I'm explaining to you that she had no real commitment that she had to live up to.
Right.
It was your parents and your grandparents. So the right person raised you. Your grandparents stepped in as they should when a grandchild has been neglected or abused. The aunt steps in from time to help and to give a little direction and a little support. And that's it. Everybody did everything, right? You're fine, right? You've been incarcerated?
I have been incarcerated, but I'm not.
How long?
The longest was for a month.
How many times?
4 times.
What about your education level? Where are you at with that?
College.
Okay, so sounds like everything went all right with you.
I guess you could say so.
Yeah, sounds like you're doing fine to me. You work?
Currently, I'm back home visiting, but I'm going to be working. I worked in the medical field for 10 years.
All right, so you've held down a job. I think you've done a lot better than many, or you've done as well, if not better, than most children who go through what you went through. So congratulations, you did well. See, your granddad raised you in a good household, even though it might not have had the same structure. So he did his part and she did her part. She was inspirational, I'm sure, a role model for you. You said that's how you live decently. What profession you in?
I am an emergency room registered nurse in trauma.
Okay, yeah, and you say you worked in health for a minute.
Yeah, I hired nurses that work in hospitals.
Yeah, okay, see, there you go. She was an inspiration because you went into the same field.
I sent him contacts with nurses who wanted to travel.
Ah, she abandoned you. And you're gonna come in here talking about somebody abandoning you. You need to stop it. Go ahead, ma'am, I'm sorry. Tell me about the loans.
In 2012, I found him again on Facebook. We reconnected, and that same year, my husband threw me my 50th birthday party in Las Vegas, and I invited him. It went well. He was introduced to family members like nephews of mine that are his cousins that he never met that are his age. So everything went well because I don't think he really met family that really cared about him as we did. So that went well, and in January of 2015, he called me and told me he was about to be evicted from his apartment and that he needed to help with his rent. So I said, well, okay, how much do you need? And he said it was somewhere around $1,900. And I said, well, okay, give me the name of your landlord. That way I can pay your landlord that way.
There you go.
Because I don't give money because I got in trouble for that before. Mm-hmm. So I called the landlord. It was a leasing company. And I got in touch with him. I paid the rent. It was $1,953 and so much.
Directly to them?
Directly to them.
He was the repayer.
Yes, he was going to repay me. We agreed 6 months, which would have been May of that year. And when that came around, crickets.
Okay. Never saw him, Casper, huh?
Yes.
So One thing we've learned, and I've known that for a while, when folks come to you for thousands of dollars and they say it's for a bill, write it to the bill collector. Yes. Kids come to me for college, Uncle Greg, or, I'm everybody's uncle now. I don't care. If 55, I'm your uncle. Unc, you automatically, they putting a little responsibility on you. Yeah. So y'all should know, anybody come to you with Unc, you're responsible for that. Hey, Unc. So I've been Unc since I've been on television to a host of new nieces and nephews around the country. But nonetheless, when they come to you for bills, pay that bill collector. I had someone recently come to me for thousands, and they said they had it was due. I don't even want to get too specific, but they came to me for thousands that they had to pay an institution.
All right.
I said, okay, let me know what it is. I'll write it directly to them, because it was pretty important. But I'd heard some other things about the person at any rate. So I said, I'll pay. Well, no, they'll only take it from me.
I like this guy.
I say, so what if
That's good.
I took cash up to the front desk? Would they take it? Never heard back from them after that. After that text, to say if I walk up with cash in hand, I'm paying such and such bill with cash. No. He's the only one that can come in here. And sir, what do you say to the loans?
She did lend me the money. She was there to help me. But I also feel that, it shouldn't have been an instance where if I don't pay you back, I'm going to do away with you. I don't ever want to talk to you again type situation. And that's really kind of what happened. It's, well, how can I pay somebody back who's doing away with me or doesn't want to talk to me?
Put it in the mail. That's how. You don't have to talk. Let the check do the talking. Judgment for the plaintiff. He has no legal defense. I suppose it also has a lot to do with your challenges in paying, but I think he's going to pay you, ma'am. He sounds like a good guy, and I think he's going to make sure he pays $1,953. Good luck to you both.
I love you, Chris.
I love you too.
I've only wanted the best for you. You know that.
Love you too.
From day one.
I love you too.
Okay.
Plaintiff Tamika Parcher says growing up, the defendant, who was her sister, was her babysitter, and she was extremely abusive. Tamika claims the defendant joined a gang when she was 13, and Tamika followed in her footsteps. But they both eventually graduated high school. Tamika is suing her sister today for 2 loans. Defendant Shatia Williams says Tamika is a compulsive liar who constantly got into trouble at school. Shatia claims Tamika once knocked her classmates' teeth out during a fight, and she also tried to set her school bus on fire. Shatia is countersuing for defamation of character.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay, first I would like to say I was here in 2012 with my mom, and we were settling in a dispute, but I just wanted to tell you, when we were here, you ordered me and my mom to hug and to say we love each other, which it was my very first time ever, in life, and we've been doing great since then, so I truly want to thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, tell your mother I said thank you.
Okay, and then a little bit of background. The defendant is my sister, Shatia. We grew up in the projects, very rough, very rough, in a Ravine Park Village in Toledo. And at 8 years old, my sister was kind of like our babysitter, me and my little brother. And she was very, very, very abusive. We done got hit with crates. We done got hit with plastic floorboards, and you name it, we did it.
You finished high school?
Yes, we both graduated from high school. Yeah.
You did your job. You got her through high school, hook or crook. Go ahead. No, I don't advocate any type of abuse. Go ahead, though.
Okay, and then when she was 13 years old, she got into a gang, and of course I followed her. I did not join the gang, but I kind of got into the activities
as if I were. We got shot at a couple times. She used to sneak out the house a lot. I remember one incident when she snuck out the house to go be with her boyfriend. My mother caught her, and I mean, she beat her from the house all the way back to the house. And after she got beat, and I witnessed her getting beat, she convinced me to sneak out the house to take a letter to her boyfriend. So by the time I got back to the house, I could hear my sister getting beat. And when I say my heart dropped twice, because I already knew what was about to happen to me. And I told her after that, I said, I am not getting into nothing else with you, even though I did, but I told her I wasn't. At the age of 10, I started smoking due to her. It was because she did not want me to tell on her, so she had me smoking. And by 11, I was stealing cigarettes. I forgave her for it, though, because we were young. We were kids, so it's water under the bridge. And by the time she was 15, she was taken out of the home for whatever reason it is. I really don't want to get into it. But she was taken out of the home, and we seen each other sporadically until I was about 22. And at 22, when we got back together, me and her did great. We bonded great. She started nursing school, getting herself together. And I love my sister dearly, and I just hate the fact that we even here.
Okay, you give me some background.
My sister's right. I did have to assume a responsibility as being mom, you know, cooking, cleaning, and doing all of those things. I mean, one thing I can do, if I can't do nothing else, I can cook. I can put my foot in some things. But going back to grade school.
Toledo is 45 minutes from Detroit.
Yeah, I'm there all the time.
I'll come by there and cook me and my wife a meal.
That's right. I won't have it no other way.
All right, go
Absolutely. She would get in trouble. She was a handful. She would get in trouble in school, fighting. She kicked the girl tooth out her mouth, front teeth out her mouth, you know. She tried to set the bus on fire, you know, things like that, because she thought that the bus driver was racist. The bus driver didn't say anything. I guess he just looked racist to her. I'm not for sure. My sister is a compulsive liar. She did the Ouija board. She thought she was Bone Thugs and Harmony, you know. She done a lot of things, you know. And
but she learned a lot from you, she says.
Yeah, and some of the things is true. Like the smoking and sneaking out.
And being in the street is part of the game.
Well, the reason why I got in the streets is because I was tired of taking care of them.
I understand, but you're saying that you're painting her as a bad apple when you're the one.
Did she not paint me as one?
Yeah, but you're acting as, I'm telling you, she learned it from you. That's what I'm saying. You taught her a lot of what she knows, and that part stuck. So did high school. She finished high school, and a lot of folks who are involved in street life, particularly gangs, the overwhelming majority don't finish high school.
That's one thing I regret. Good. I definitely regret that.
And 3,800 you're suing for. What happened?
Yes. In 2013, my sister called me. She was heading to school, and she said that her tires had collapsed on her car. So I ordered a cab and got her to my house, and she was telling me, like, I'm on clock hours. If I miss school, you know, I'll lose my degree. So I love my sister, and I love to see anybody doing something good, you know. So I lent my sister $3,500 so she can get a car so she can get back and forth to school. She said she'll pay me off her loans, which she did pay. She gave me 2 payments. But then in 2015, her house caught fire, and it was her and her 3 kids in the house. So when she talked to me about that, I gave her $2,500 to loan, and she knew it was a loan.
Where you getting all this money?
My husband is a painter. I'm a
Is your husband here?
Yes, I'm a DSP for adults with autism, and I'm also going to school for my license to become a chemical dependency counselor.
Yeah, glad to hear that. I'm just saying, you loaning $6,000 out. I ain't loaning my brothers that. All right, go ahead.
So after she took got the $2,500, she gave me 3 payments, but then she just stopped.
And by the way, I don't loan them. I just have to give it to him because I know I'm not getting it back. That's what I meant by I don't loan. I give. I'm not gonna send him money back. He don't need no money. He ain't there. You didn't borrow my money, and now suddenly I don't need it back. You didn't think about that when you were saying you would pay me back.
Right.
Go ahead, ma'am. Tell me about this $3,800.
Yes, and she did. She gave me the money.
Just
she
like my
loan
brother.
me
That's like I do my brother.
It's the truth. She gave it to me. Like, okay, my car broke down. Yes, and when I gave her the money that I gave her, a couple $100 here and there, it wasn't like here a repayment, because no. The reason is, and hi Chuck, good seeing you. That's my brother-in-law. You know, I haven't seen him in some time. However, you know, he lost his job. He was working for the city, making really good money. And in 2016, she's like, oh, well, I need my money back. It's a loan. What you mean it's a loan? How you gonna say it's a loan all of a sudden when it's been years and I haven't given you anything? But now you want to say it's a loan because, you know, your husband lost his job? That's not fair.
You ever gave her thousands of dollars?
I gave her hundreds of dollars.
Hundreds of thousands?
Not hundreds of thousands.
Right.
I gave her hundreds of dollars.
And
I mean,
she
I helped
gave
her.
you
She helped
thousands
me.
of dollars, 6,000.
Yes, she did.
And so
you are absolutely correct.
Yeah, so
Longer.
you say. So you say. And my point was, it just sounds highly unusual. The family members give that type of money to a sibling. What makes more sense is that is a loan, and that's why perhaps you were paying it back, or you were giving her money. And why were you giving her money then?
Because she will text me and be like, you need to give me this or that, and I want my money. And I'm like, I'm telling her in the text messages, you didn't say that.
You want to have those text messages?
I sure do. You didn't tell me that it was a loan in the
What is your
beginning.
$500 defamation
Because
for?
she's lying to my family, talking about I'm taking her money to make you lying. And then you got mama, she got mama in the middle. And then mama, like, she don't talk to me. She don't talk to Tamika. And then we don't have family dinners. We don't do none of that no more.
Oh, right.
I just want my sister back. I mean, it's
you're
just
suing
a
her
big,
because
big
she's telling
joke.
people you took her money.
Yeah, and I didn't take anything. She
right.
gave it to
Well,
me.
I agree. You did take her money. This text says, she says, I want my money and I want every bit of it. You say, I got you. I'm going to pay you your money back as soon as I can. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff. Yours dismissed.
I love my sister anyhow. She know I do. And she know that I lent it to her. Don't nobody give $500 payments back if it's just giving
shut
it.
up.
Oh, I love you.